This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Chief Election Commissioner warns that Tamil Nadu is infamous for money power compared to other states. Partisan behavior led to transfers of top officers.
Tamil Nadu has bigger money power problem than other states, that's for sure.
Arigiri slams the opposition-led alliance, says it's on a ventilator for the polls ahead. Battleground 2011 will see the young guns take on political heavyweights. Are these just token contests, or will these fresh candidates throw up surprises? Has Amma proved her rivals wrong this election season by being more amenable with her allies? The centre rolls back the 5% tax on healthcare. NDTV Hindu gets your first reactions from the city's big hospitals.
India, 80% of the people pay out of their pocket for healthcare expenses. This tax would have gone on, added initial burden for them.
The city corporation puts on its election gear. 4 flying squads and separate queues for the elderly are introduced for the voters.
We'll be printing booth slips very soon, and the distribution will commence probably by this month end.
And he is a superstar with a golden heart. Rajinikanth plans a visit to the devastated Japan to help his fans and victims.
So I pray God, the Almighty, so no more nature calamity to that wonderful, hard-working, beautiful people.
This is the Late Night News on NDTV Hindu. I'm Evelyn Matthew. A quick roundup of the other stories we've been tracking through the day as well. Another earthquake of magnitude 6.6 on the Richter scale strikes Honshu in Japan. After his WikiLeaks reignited the cash for votes scandal, Julian Assange tells NDTV that India should investigate, not distort the records. In the Libyan operation, the United States wants to hand over the attack to NATO, but the Arab League is against it. In more trouble for Karnataka's Chief Minister, Yediyurappa sources tell NDTV that 50 MLAs of anti-Chief Minister camp are plotting a rebellion. And the Bombay High Court reserves its order on Lalit Modi's appeal against the BCCI's disciplinary committee inquiry till the 5th of April. As the state gets ready to go to vote in a matter of weeks, the Chief Election Commissioner today warned that Tamil Nadu has a worse track record of money power than most states. In an exclusive interview to NDTV's Srinivasan Jain, Dr. S.Y. Qureshi said that they had to transfer top officials because of evidence of partisan behavior. He said the state was no exception. All ruling governments tend to abuse official machinery, but the Election Commission will ensure the rule of law.
Tamil Nadu has bigger money power problem than other states, that's for sure. I mean, we were in Kerala last week. We asked the political parties whether the same problem exists there also, and they all said it doesn't, unanimously, all of them.
Are you concerned about, and this is a complaint that's been raised by the opposition parties in Tamil Nadu, that there's an excessive control of the state machinery by the DMK government? You recently just transferred the DGP. Is that an indication that you believe that there is the possibility of that kind of abuse?
Yes. Well, in this case, there was more than perception. There was evidence also of the past, including a court judgment.
Which suggested partisanship.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why I think you've transferred a number of fairly senior police officers. I think the DG, of course, has been transferred, but also the ADGP and yes, a few others.
Some SPs, some DMs, that we almost routinely we do to ensure that bureaucracy behaves.
So before we move on away from Tamil Nadu into the wider canvas of what is happening with elections and corruption and black money, I just want to ask you about Tamil Nadu and DMK, because as you were saying, you have a number of these seizures which suggest that crores of rupees are being circulated. You've also got an example, as you pointed out, of partisanship. Is the evidence pointing towards the fact that in Tamil Nadu, the DMK, the state government, is perhaps unduly using both state machinery and also money power more than the other parties. Is that what broadly what the trends are pointing towards right now?
Well, actually, it is the tendency of every government, every ruling party to try and misuse to the extent they can.
Is that what is happening in Tamil Nadu, you think?
Well, it will not be allowed to happen because of the very idea that we have made these changes.
Yes.
That is the purpose. We want to send down the signal that this is not acceptable. And anything, so suppose they make an announcement which is not acceptable to us, we stop immediately.
So you are keeping a particularly
yes,
strict eye?
Yes, that is to ensure level playing field.
Yes.
Otherwise, government has unlimited resources. So which they can use to their advantage. We don't allow that.
Meanwhile, the rivalry between the two main political parties in the scenario caustic at the best of times is only getting louder and fiercer now that the elections are barely 3 weeks away. A not too impressed son of the Chief Minister has spewed fire at his rivals. M.K. Adagiri has said that the opposition's alliance in the state is on a ventilator which may be taken off on the polling date.
அது பிறகு தான் நமக்கு தெரியுமே வெண்டிலேட்டர் ஓடிட்டு வெண்டிலேட்டர் எடுத்துட்டா அவங்க முடிஞ்சு போச்சு மக்கள் மார்ச் 11 ஏப்ரல் 11 வெண்டிலேட்டரை எடுத்து விடுவார்கள் தேர்தலுக்கு 20 நாட்கள் இருக்கிறது அதற்குள் அவர் என்ன பாடுபட போகிறார் என்பது பொறுத்திருந்து பாருங்கள்.
Now, in view of the preparations for the mighty polls in the next few weeks, the Corporation Commissioner, along with election observers for the polls ahead, convened a meeting with flying squads and concerned poll officials at the Corporation office today. Among some of the key announcements for the voters headed to cast their votes on the 13th of April are if anybody notices any violations of sorts, they can contact the election observers to register their complaints, or even with the corporation's toll-free number, that's 1-800-425-2010 or 2011. So as to ensure a safe, free and fair polls this April as well, 4 flying squads have been engaged in duty. These appointed personnel, who will scan 16 constituencies within the city, will be accompanied by 4 other officials.
We have established a hierarchical setup. There are 23 flying squads that are functioning in the city now. So whenever we get a complaint, immediately the flying squad is told to rush to the scene of crime and then take swift action. So within 5 or 10 minutes, the squads reach the place of occurrence and then take action.
While the Election Commission has been encouraging more and more people to come forward and exercise their franchise, one among the introductions this year is also a separate queue for elderly people at the different centres.
We are making elaborate arrangements for smooth conduct of the poll. There are thinking in the commission, and even we have been told to work on the idea of forming a third queue. Normally, if it's an all-voter booth, there will be a queue for men and women separately. But this time there is a thinking that we can even form a third queue for the elderly, irrespective of sex. They can be there, probably people of 60 or 65 plus can form a separate queue and then they may be allowed to vote on priority basis. Such thinking is going on.
Well, quite a bit up the corporation's sleeves. Now, the hard bargaining done by both the big and the small parties is not the only riveting element in elections of 2011. The bigger picture is the first sign that the Queen Bee is showing a willingness to compromise and accommodate allies, something she has not been credited with so far.
Are we seeing a new Jayalalitha now? She is not known to write to people that she is hurt, something she did when Vaiko decided to sit out the elections after failing to secure the berths he wanted. Jayalalitha said, and I quote, "I have always had goodwill and affection for Vaiko. I am hurt by Vaiko's decision to boycott elections. I have always treated Vaiko like my brother. After all, Amma is known to set conditions, not bow down to them. Yet, when the left parties, unhappy with the AIADMK's original list of 160 seats, spoke about forming a third front, she postponed her election campaign at once and personally oversaw hour-long discussions which stretched into the night and arrived at a compromise. Over the past few years, many of her trusted colleagues in the AIADMK have called it quits. Some have even blamed her for her alleged self-centered nature. Call it self-introspection or a brilliant political move or both. Jayalalitha knows this is a do-or-die election for her. In Chennai, Bama Ravi, NDTV Hindu.
This is the late night news on NDTV Hindu. Up ahead, the parable of David and Goliath unfolds within the state's elections. But who will survive in this battlefield? We look at the chances when we come back.